So today I figure we'll jump into the next step, priming your brass. So let's get after it. So we're going to take this, open the lid. We're just going to do a few. Boop. There we go. Drop tin in. Give it the roll. Okay, we'll go ahead and pop that into the open position. So next step, load up a primer. Get our piece of brass, drop it in here. And we're going to press this lever. And that's going to punch the primer up into the case. So you want to kind of angle it away from your face. Get in there. Okay, let's see if we can do this. So this one's being kind of a little tight here. What? Come on! Prime! Prime! Come on! Come on! Come on! Oh, okay. Should not be that hard. Let's take a look at this. Ah, there's a problem. So this is a piece of 556 brass, and it has a crimped primer pocket. So let's talk about that. So let's get into the video. That was just a funny way to call attention to the fact that on mainly 556 brass, on 223, that's in other calibers as well, but this is going to be looking at 223, 556 brass. So what I have found, and I will admit that I got lucky in that when I was setting things up, I had one of my buddies come over and we were talking about stuff, and he was looking at my brass as I was starting to trim it. And he said, all right, now next step is going to be swage, and then, or ream out the primer pocket, and then you just got to add primer, powder, and seat the bullet. So I did not know that at that point. So I got lucky in that I did not have to go through the troubles of some people. I found this got posted today. So you can see those primers are in all kinds of cattywampus there. And what causes that is the primer pockets on 556 ammo is going to have a ring around it where they're crimped. See if we can get a good look here. Typically, if you're looking at a piece of brass and you can see after you pop the primer out, you'll be able to see like almost like a half ring to a full ring around the primer pocket. That's typically an indication of it being crimped from the factory. So this is some 223 brass. It is not there. If you see this cross symbol, typically that's indicating a NATO load. So that has got some dirt in there, picked up from my range, but that's got a crimp on it. This is some IMI 556. It also has a crimp on it. Now the other way, like this 50 BMG, it's got these 3 divots here. That's where they crimp that together. So different brass is going to have different markings. That one also has those 3 little crimps. This is some military 855A1, and you can kind of see there. It also, now it does have that cross symbol that I was talking about, and it's going to have a crimp on that. The point of showing all those is that you typically won't know until after you pop the primers out and able to get a good look in there. Let's talk about ways to fix it real quick. Now, the easiest and most cost-effective way is a little tool like this. Got a little head on it that more or less, it just cuts out the pocket. So you just drop it in, give it a few twists, and that's going to cut the little bit of extra material out of the hole and allow you to get a new primer in. You know, this is a 1x1 process, but it's a very cheap and easy way to go. What I have typically gone to, if you saw my last video, you know, one of my main focuses is trying to find ways to save time as I'm doing this. So what I ended up going with for more volume is this Hornady single stage swage tool. Now it just, this is in a lock and load bushing, but it's got a plunger up in there, but they call it a swage punch assembly. And what it does is it's got a plunger in there that will press down into the hole and just take that material and scooch it just a little bit. I'm over exaggerating it, but it'll just, as that goes down inside, it'll open it up just a little bit. It'll just push that material out of the way. And I have found that to be the easiest way to go. So let's take a look at how that works. You use this to slide your piece of brass onto, and that gives it something solid to press against, so it's not losing any of its shape. All right, you just drop that into your shell holder, and then you're going to press up the brass upside down, more or less. That'll go up, and when that happens, it's going to be hard to see on film, but it just takes that material and just scooches it over just a little bit. So going this way, once you get a good rhythm going, fairly easy to work through a decent bit of brass right now. Personally, I'm trying to go through all of my 5.56 ammo, or all my 5.56 brass that I had bought when I was first getting into rifle shooting, and I didn't know the difference or the extra steps that were going to be involved. So I'm trying to get all this brass done first, so it'll save me time, you know, later down the road. I will eventually reach a point where this step will not need to be done anymore at all. So I'll take a couple pictures and have them rolling in. I think that'll be the easiest way to see it, but this way is super easy, and it definitely increases the speed at which you can get done with all this. You're not having brass shavings everywhere because it's not actually cutting any material out. It's just taking it and pushing it out to the side, opening that hole up just enough so that you're able to get in the primer much more easily without having it flipping around or accidentally detonating or anything dangerous like that. So I think this is the best way for me. They do make a kit that I could run on my progressive that just does each of these steps, you know, with each pull of the handle. But I don't want to mess with, I don't know, I just don't think I'm gonna need that quantity at this point. If I reach the level that I'm doing a ton more, I will look into that at a later date. But I think for right now, I'm just going to focus more on trying to get 223 brass that is not going to have swage pockets. So anyways, that's all there is to that. Okay, so you know, that's all there is to it. Swaging, it is a simple task to do. You just got to know you need to do it before you start trying to seat the primers. That is the trick. If you're aware beforehand, not a big deal. Just get the job done and go ahead and get on to seating. I was going to try and show, you can kind of see there's like a shinier ring around on the inside here. And that's how I know that they have been swaged. That ring is not visible beforehand. If you're starting with factory loaded 556 brass, you really need to swage your primer pockets, or cut them with a little tool like that. So easy enough. If there's any good tips that anybody has for other people to know or me to know, please go ahead and drop them down in the comments. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. Thanks for hanging out, watching this video with me. If you got anything to say, please drop it down below. I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel as I keep growing it here, and like the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Bye.